Um, really, really quick live here. And this is, and again, I'm not expecting a massive audience on this, but this is something that's quite important. Are we all being censored, covertly censored? This happened in 2000. This first happened in 2018. It happened again then when the COVID thing was happening. Um, when Tommy stood for the European election, obviously there was a whole furore over that. We all lost our Facebook accounts and we were never able to get them back. We are all anyone that was associated with Tommy completely vaporized from Facebook. COVID happened. To be honest with you, I didn't really comment that much on COVID. I was just, I'm going to be honest, enjoying furlough and understanding what it'd be like to be a retired civil servant. But during COVID, people were getting censored left, right, and center, all over the place. People were getting their accounts suspended, getting banned, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. So I'm wondering, are we getting censored again? Has it started again? Are they going down that road of censoring us? Because, hi Lisa, to me, there are a lot of very strange things going on with our content on all of these platforms. You know, the platforms that go on. I'm not going to mention them because if you mention the platforms, you can get yourself into more trouble. And we're all very careful, you know. I mean, every single YouTuber, we have to play the game because they'll just vaporize. I don't say the stuff I want to say. I always use flowery language to say what I want to say. I'm pretty straight, but I'm convinced since this crazy, demonic, satanic, evil internet harms legislation has come into force, which I think was 3 days ago now, engagement on all of our channels has fallen off a cliff. So let me know, are you getting, obviously this is an ad hoc live stream, so again, I'm not expecting a huge amount of people to come on. It's midnight on a Monday night and I'm doing a live stream. But I'm worried about it because 2 years ago, I was doing videos getting 100,000, 150,000 views, not all the time, but some of them were really going massive. I mean, one of Tommy, not fighting, but arguing with a guy in a KFC that came up and, you know, started on him. I think that had nearly a million views on YouTube. And now it's literally fallen off a cliff for everybody. So to me, that's worrying because there's something happening again. And if they're censoring the right, and that's why Keir Starmer squirming like a little worm today when Trump was asked the question about censorship, and Trump kind of made a joke of it. But I think Trump knows exactly what's going on. I know JD Vance definitely knows what's going on. But what influence do they have over Google, in other words, YouTube, and of course they have no influence over Elon. And I've heard of people getting banned from X, left, right, and center. So what's going on at X? What's going on at YouTube? We know what's going on in Facebook because we need our voices on social media. If we don't have our voices on social media, and this is where I'm gonna give a few solutions. We've done this before, and I'm going to do it again. In fact, I'm going to find it now, and I'm going to drop a link in here. And we've got the pledge, obviously, and there's a lot of people signed up to the pledge. But I do want people to sign up to UK. I'm going to start really pushing UK freedom movement again because I've got a mailing list with UK freedom movement. Because what I want to be able to do is keep you guys informed on what is going on in the country and on how we can win this battle. And I think that's just answered my question. Wow. My site, UK Freedom Movement, used to be top of Google, and it's completely and utterly vanished. It's not even in the top 10 anymore. Top 20? Nope. Top 30? Nope. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. UK Freedom Movement, totally censored on Google. So it's not coming up anywhere. I'm going to have to put the direct URL in it. Because what we'll do, if we get people across to these other platforms and we get a good mailing list, we can just email you. So it doesn't matter if YouTube start giving you notifications. The Oh, there we go. We've got it. Okay, we're in. Okay. Right. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to drop this link in here. Now, I haven't actually tested this link, so hopefully it'll work up for, but you'll find out if you try and sign up and it lets you. So just go on, sign up to the UK Freedom Movement, because obviously the pledge is for a very specific thing. If we get people signing up to UK Freedom Movement, I've got probably about 3,000 people signed up already over, just from not really pushing it over the last few years. But let's get signed up to the UK Freedom Movement, because I am intending to build that, and basically we need as many different irons in the fire as we can get. And the first time we did a demo with the UK Freedom Movement was in 2018. And I'll be doing exactly what I'm doing now. I'll be promoting the pledge. I'll be promoting Advance UK. I'll be promoting Christianity. I'll be promoting the Unite the Kingdom movement with Tommy. So I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing, but I'm going to start using that mailing list on the UK Freedom Movement, and again trying to keep people in touch. The other thing is we're going to be sending more emails out from the pledge as well. We're going to do one very soon about the Islamophobia law, so that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So we've got to up our game, because if they're closing us down on social media, we've got to go back to the old-fashioned way of doing it, which is basically getting people through to the websites. Because what social media does, and it's parasitical in a way, because it kind of gives people the sense that they've got power, and you've got a social media following, you've got I don't know, 100,000 people on YouTube and 20,000 people on X, whatever your figures are, but that can be vaporized in very, very short order. So we do need to build these alternative platforms, and I'm going to look into how to make it so there's a chat element and all that sort of thing in there. I had that before, and it never really took off. I had a thing called the UK Freedom Network, and it was kind of like a social media thing, but it was very clunky. And obviously, you're never going to be as good as the big social media giants. But I am going to look at ways that we can all keep in touch and we can all interact properly. I'm going to have a look at some of these comments, guys. Okay. Okay, I tell you what, Kelly, do me a favor. If you could sign up again to the pledge mailing list, yeah, and I'll make sure that I check that you're on the mailing list, because we did an email when Advance launched. So we did an email when Advance launched saying that we supported Advance because they basically Ben has signed the pledge, and they're doing exactly the same as what we do. For Discord, yeah, I think it's you that's mentioned that before. 404. Let's try and do that. Let's try and find out what we can do with a Discord server. Okay, right, Sheila. Okay, do me a favor, guys. If you haven't had an email from the pledge, sign up again. If we've got you in the database, you won't be getting 2 emails. You'll still only get 1. But if you're not getting any at all, do me a favor and just sign up again, and then I'll check. Because obviously I don't want you to put your email in the comments here, because obviously it'd be there for everyone to see. But if you sign up on the pledge again, I'll check and we'll see what happens. You should definitely be getting emails. But yeah, let's see what happens on that. Yes, guys, yes, do that. See with this. Do you know what I found with this movement? I would much rather have 1,000 really good people than 10,000 crazy people. Right? I mean, we're all crazy, but I mean 10,000 people that are problematic. And so please do like and share. I think what we've got now on Counter Media, on the Richard Inman channels, and with all the stuff that we're doing and the direction we're going in, we've got people that really believe in the message that I'm pushing. And it's faith, family flag, it's Christianity, it's politics in the form of Advance UK, and obviously it's the Unite the Kingdom movement. But so I would much rather we had a small cadre of people who are totally committed to the cause than a whole lot of people that are kind of semi-committed. But I think we're getting that now. I think we're getting that real base, because I know, because I see the same people in the comments, and the numbers of people watching are always, we're always getting now around anything, depending on when we go live and what the subject is. But we're averaging about 600-700 people consistently on live streams when we do them at a decent time. Now, everybody that's in the comments, you're all as mad as me. You're all as crazy as me, because at 12:15 on a Tuesday morning, we probably shouldn't all be doing this, right? We probably should be finding a lot better way of spending our time. But I'm going to have a look at some of these comments here, and then I'll check out. We'll maybe go till about 30:30, and then I'll check out. Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone know what's happened there? I saw he knocked someone out. I don't know if he's been arrested. I know as much as you guys know. I mean, to be honest with you, Tommy should have someone with him all the time. What's the number of signatures on the pledge? I think, don't hold me to this, I think we're around 60,000 genuine. Once the duplication's been taken out of it, I think we were up like, probably near 90,000. And then you take all the duplication out, there's always loads of people sign up twice. And then anybody that's not in the UK, it's, so I think it's about 55,000-60,000 once the duplication's taken out of it. But again, I haven't checked recently. I'm sure we've got more signups. Yeah, WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp could be. The problem is what we're doing with any of those things. Discord's probably the best one, because I don't think Discord ever cancels anyone, but I don't know anything about it. The problem is if we're doing it on anybody else's platform, WhatsApp, even Telegram, they can still take you down. Whereas if it's on my own platform, and again, I've built one before, but I think I'll maybe look at finding a way to have a good comment system on my sites. Yeah, we definitely need to do something. Okay, 40 minutes that Tommy's okay. Oh, that's good. Let's have a look. Let's just see. Let's have a look on X, see what's going on. See if there's anything about Tommy. Well, I came on the scene in 2000. There's probably 50 people in the Black Hero. Okay, I don't know what it's. Boom, boom, boom. Notifications. Just see what's happening. Okay, Tom Robbins is scared with someone clean out self-defense. Yep. Do you know what? That he looks like a big lump of a lad. And there's a saying that says that the bigger they are, the harder they fall, eh? And I think that's very, very true. Well, depending on who the big person is. If it's Tyson Fury, you're probably not going to get Tyson Fury knocked out one punch. But, again, this is the thing. People harass Tommy. He's minding his own business. Tommy never starts anything on anyone. And people just come up and start nonsense for nothing. And Nick Buckby says on Twitter, it's been alleged that Tommy Robinson has knocked out a left-wing agitator at a train station. I want to see the 30 seconds before this clip. So do I. I want to see that punch. But yeah, so guys, let's keep doing what we're doing. But I do think we're getting censored, and I think we need to. Yeah, he did a 2.5 hour interview with London Real. And he did have a cut on his head. I saw that. So if the guy swung for Tommy, it's a clear case of self-defense, isn't it? A lot of keyword banned like this for a while now. Yeah, there's a lot of censorship going on. Facebook, I'm banned for life from Facebook. But maybe I've got a secret account on there. Who knows? James Bond, I'm censored. Shocking, to quote the first and best ever James Bond. Okay. Yeah, great stuff. Kelly, if you could sign again, that'd be great. Discord or WhatsApp, work on other things I do. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll try and find another way. The only thing is anything that's owned, I mean, Obviously, WhatsApp's owned by Facebook, isn't it? Anything that's owned by any of these giants, I just don't trust. I'm not sure who owns Discord. Discord. Yeah, I've got a VPN, but you need everybody that's watching your stuff having a VPN as well. And again, it's just, I think we've got to be ready that these people look. The bottom line is we've got to win the election in 2025. We've got to get Advance UK, and we've got to have Ben as Prime Minister, and that's what I'm going to be pushing like mad. I'm going to be I'm going to annoy a lot of people. I'll probably lose a few followers because I am going to be saying that Advance are the only political option, but that's what I believe. So if people don't believe that, I'm not going to fall out with anybody. But I will be saying, okay, who's the most likely to make a good Prime Minister? I think that's just as simple as that. And the only person I can see there that fits that bill at the minute is Ben Habib. I can't see anyone else. I mean, Rupert Lowe doesn't seem interested in forming a party. He seems to be waiting to see what happens with his movement and then either joining the party to take it over or whatever. Personally, I wish Rupert had jumped in with Ben and gone with Ben at the beginning. I think it would have put them both in a lot stronger position, but we are where we are. Farage, I just don't trust him. I've seen too much happen with Farage. Nick Tenconi, not my cup of tea. So yeah, I think with the only choice we've got really is Ben for me. But other people might have different ideas on that. And I think the other thing that we need to see is a genuine Christian revival in the UK. We need to see genuinely people coming through to Christianity and becoming Christians. And I'm not saying that to coerce people or to make people do that. You can only do that with the power of the Holy Spirit and with God in your life. But I think we need to see a lot of people becoming Christians, and we need to build this cultural movement with Uniting the Kingdom. So that's it. That's the plan, the pledge, Advance, Unite the Kingdom with Tommy. Yeah, Christianity. And again, I'm going to work on the UK Freedom Movement website and let that be a kind of a hub. I'm going to try and put video and stuff on there. I've got the Counter Media website as well, which I've been working on. So I've got a lot going on. But I think between the pledge and UK Freedom Movement website, if we can get up to 100,000 genuine emails on both sites, that makes them very, very big sites. And it means that we can build a real movement around that. And obviously at the same time as helping Ben with what he's doing. But I think the movement needs to have lots of different strands and lots of different spokes to the wheel. You can't just have a wheel with one spoke in it. It needs to have loads of different spokes. And I think that's what we need to do with what we can with the people that we've got following me now and following Paul and following Jeff and everyone else that's kind of connected with us. We've got to find a way of building a community out of the names in the comments. Now, again, a lot of the people in the comments, I know you personally. I've met you. That's the nice thing about this. And there's a lot of other people I've met that probably don't want to be in the comments. But the reality is, if we can build this community in double quick time and start building things in local areas, and I need help, I'll be honest with you, I need good people. The problem is that there's a lot of wackos out there. You know what I mean? Okay, we're all crazy doing this at half past 12 on a Tuesday morning, but there's a lot of crazy people out there that offer help and then they turn out to be not able to help you after all. You know what I mean? So I do need help. I'll go into that as we try and build things. But yeah, I think we just got to do it because I don't think you can have too many movements, because you can be in on the mailing list of UK Freedom Movement. You could be an Urban Scoops mailing list. You can be Sargon's mailing list. You can be UKIP's mailing list. You can be Advance's mailing list. It's just, I think the more that we do, it just means we have strength in depth, like what people, you always hear people talking about it with football, but it's the same in battle. If you've got an army and you've got a very thin front line, when that front line gets broken and there's nobody to counterattack, you've lost the war, right? And that's exactly the same in what we're doing. If our front line is broken and, let's say I go to prison, Tommy goes to prison, Nick Tenconi goes to prison, Ben goes to prison. I'm just using these as silly examples, right? But say we all get locked up for something. There needs to be another line of defense there that steps up and goes, well, I can do that. I can do that. I can make speeches. I can do videos. And, so we need to be training people to do all that sort of stuff. We need to be training people in righteousness, teaching people about the Bible, teaching people about God. We need to be teaching people about how great British history is. So we need to be doing really, really positive things. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to check these comments here, guys, because I've been waffling on. You know what I'm like when I get on a rant. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that's right. We've all got to come behind one political party. I think as much as possible, and I get it, but if people are atheists and they're not interested in Christianity, I don't want to put you off, right? I don't want to put you off. If you're Hindu or Sikh, I don't want to put you off. If you're Jewish, I don't want to put you off. All I'm saying is our nation is built on Christianity. I'm going to promote Christianity for that, partly for that reason, and partly for evangelistic reasons. I want to see everybody come to Christ. Atheist, Jew, Hindu, Muslim. I want to see people come into God's kingdom and find the peace that comes with that. I don't know. I don't know if Tommy's been arrested. I'm not in touch with Tommy tonight at all, and I'm not going to bug him when he's had this sort of stuff that happen. I don't want to be phoning him at midnight saying, "Oh, I'm doing a live stream and people want to know." I just don't know, mate. So I'm sorry about that. Jenny says she doesn't think he's been arrested. Great. So yeah. Unite. Absolutely. Let's get together. That's the thing. And here's the thing as well, right? I mean, like I say, I think the only political answer is advance now, right? And but I'm not going to start attacking people's personalities or other people in other parties. Lots of my friends are in Reform. Lots of my friends are in UKIP. I just believe that advance, if it gets to that magic number of 30,000 that Ben's looking for, I think it's pretty much unstoppable. And I do think that what's going to happen is that the emperor is going to be shown to have no clothes unless the deep state are promoting reform, which they probably are. I think sooner or later reform are going to be caught out with Zia Yusuf, Mohammed Zia Yusuf, Nigel Farage, and Richard Tice, who has basically packed his family off to Dubai, and he's standing as an MP. I mean, really? What's all that about? Yeah, do you know what? I need to catch up on some of these podcasts. I've been that busy. I was out recording some video footage tonight, and then I came up. I did a recording with Paul, which I think he's probably put out now, and then I've jumped on this. So I haven't really caught up this because there's another one with Ben talking to Peter McCormack, which I really want to see as well. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Jenny. Absolutely. If you look at what that online safety, and I've been warning about this. I was warning people. There's a friend of mine, and he worked with. I'm not going to say who he worked with because you know who I'm talking about. But he worked with a parliamentarian, and I said, "What about this online safety bill?" This was like probably 3-4 years ago, and he's like, "Oh, like whatever," And I'm going, "No, this is the most important bit of legislation, the most dangerous bit of legislation that's ever got into Parliament. What can we do about it?" So that is the problem. A lot of people are just, are not using their influence well. Yeah. Active. Oh my goodness, another one. And this is why we end up with. This is why we end up with. That's up to you, 007. But Miss Moneypenny won't be voting for him. Members, I believe it's over 100k, but don't quote me on that. I'm a member, but wish I'd not bothered. Who are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about. Sorry, who are we talking about there, JH? I don't know who we're talking about there. With 100k, lost. Are you on about Restore? I don't know. Let me know who you're talking about there, so I know. Richard. If the government truly cared about children, it would have done something. Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Oh yeah, JH. Yeah. Do you know what? I can't see the point. I can't see the point in in just having another movement, because we've got a movement with Tommy. You know, I mean, the UK freedom movement thing is just a thing I do. I've done it since 2018, so it predates everything pretty much. Around 15,000 at advance. That is brilliant, and I would say that's probably accurate. So we're halfway there. Halfway there. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Mazzy. You better believe it. You better believe it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing, and I think I think it's do you know what? I think it's actually a good thing being signed up to Rupert's thing as well, because it just means that everybody can keep in touch with everybody, right? And that's really important. They can censor social media easy, but it's a lot more difficult to censor websites and censor the databases that people have built with their websites. Yeah, they do post tweets all day. I know. Yeah, I think Ben's doing. I mean, that's that's really encouraging. I haven't got any tea left. No, I haven't. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, you see, I think Trump can be a bit naive in some ways as well. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. The problem is, if we get Nigel, we know we ain't going to get we're not going to get the thing fixed. You know. Yeah, you know, I don't know what that's about. Someone's going to have to explain all that to me. Oh yeah, I mean, Ezra said tonight there's 240 invaders in a village in Ireland. Absolutely, you know. Yeah, I think Katie's going to speak. I think Jordan Peterson. I think there's other people from the Trump team are going to speak. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a really amazing rally, as long as we can keep Tommy out of prison. We've just got to keep Tommy out of prison for the 13th, haven't we? Oh dear, dear, dear. London Real. Yeah, I want to see the London Real video as well. I think that's going to be great. That's going to be fantastic. Yeah, Angelina, do you know what it is? I was just coming on to say we've got to find alternative ways of keeping in touch. And I'm going to drop the link in here again one more time. And then I'm going to bug out, because I did say I'd finish at past. So let's just drop this in here. Yes, that guy from Poland's coming over as well, Lisa. Absolutely. So, guys, if you haven't signed up to UK Freedom Movement, it's something I did years ago. We did a march. Those of you who have been doing this as long as I have, we did a march in June 2018. It was great. It was on Millbank. It was an absolutely superb event. Gerard Batten spoke at it. Robin Horsfall, ex-SAS guy. Wally Babatunde, a pastor from Nigeria. I think Pete McElvenna spoke. I spoke. It was really good. It was a really Rhys Coombs, who was a young lad who was a shining light in UKIP. He was a bit like young Bob. Really good lad, actually, Rhys Coombs. But yeah, so let's just start building this database, and I'm gonna keep doing this, and we're gonna start getting more emails out from the pledge. If you've signed up to the pledge and you haven't had an email, please sign up again, so we can make sure you are actually on the mailing list. Okay. I'm going to send an email out, and what I'll do, I'll let everybody know on a video that I've sent the email out, so you can check that you've got it. Yeah, and check your spam, because sometimes emails go into spam, because again, that's the other problem. You build up a mailing list, and your email account bungs whatever email we're going to be sending out into spam, which is nuts, you know. Especially when if you've signed up, you've signed up. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Thanks for jumping on there. We just need to find different ways of communicating with each other. We need to make sure that we got this, so that no matter what they do, because I think they're going to come for us, no matter what they do, we can keep talking to each other. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing anything illegal. We're not inciting violence. In fact, quite the opposite. We're trying to find a peaceful way to save this country. Because my big fear is, if we don't win an election in 2029, we're going to be in a position, if we get another one of these vile governments with these so-called progressives in it, these lefties and these globalists and these Islamists, I think the country will blow. So we have to win this election in 2029. It's a matter of national survival for the United Kingdom. And there's a lot of very sinister stuff going on all over the place. Sinister stuff going on. Oh, listen, Pinocchio, thank you so much for that, Pinocchio Pete. Thanks, mate. Wasn't expecting that. Do appreciate it. Um, and again, that makes a difference. I mean, you know, yeah, there's so much going on, and we've got so little time. We've got zero finances, so we need as much help as we can get. Um, Richard, I think the powers of want a civil war. Yeah, we need to absolutely JH. That's exactly we need to avoid one 100%. Richard, I think that Richard Tice has possibly packed up his family because he can afford it. Yeah. Well, that's true. Do you know what? I was thinking this today, right? And I'm the last person to quit the UK. I'm going to be the one that's turning the lights out on the way out. But I was just thinking today, wouldn't it be great to be in somewhere like Texas, where you can have your own firearms, right? You can defend your family legally and legitimately. You know, if it comes on top for me, well, I can defend myself. I'm able to defend myself. But if it comes on top for me, it's a lot harder defending yourself when you don't have, a Glock pistol or a pump action shotgun in your house. I've just been honest. You know, that's the best way of defending yourself. You know, and of course in the UK it's pretty much illegal to do that. So if you did do it, you'd end up in prison. You know, and that's why I was thinking it would be great to be in Texas, where you can pretty much have a 30 millimeter rod and cannon on the front garden, and nobody's going to say anything to you. But yeah, tax free in the UAE. That's exactly it. Exactly. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I do want to talk to Craig Houston, because he does seem to be doing a fantastic thing, doesn't he? He seems to be working really hard. Starmer's after war and warned of one on our soil not long ago. A cloak way of saying things are going to happen because there's zero chance of. Yeah, I agree. There's going to be some sort of craziness, and I'm going to do a video about what would happen if there was a civil war, because all the people that talk about civil war, including that guy David Betts, and that, he's a great guy. He's an academic and he's looked into it, but the way people talk about it as if it's not real people that are going to die. If there's a civil war, a lot of innocent people, and probably a lot of people in our movement, and a lot of people on all sides of politics, will end up paying with their lives for the madness that this nation and the government of this nation and the establishment of this nation have pushed on us. This madness of the invasion. And again, we've got to be careful what we say now because of the new legislation. So, but we've got to fight back. And the way to do it at the minute is not with flesh and blood, because we're fighting against powers and principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. We need to pray. We need to seek God. We need to seek God's guidance. I'm not a pacifist by any means, right? But we've got to pray for people in authority. Pray for people in power. That's what we've got to do. And if that works, then great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, Craig Houston's doing a really good job. If you could post a link in here, Nicola, that'd be great. Right, guys, I'm absolutely chin strapped. So I am going to shoot off here. James, man, absolutely, Richard. The general election is the last peaceful time. That's what I believe, James. That's what I believe. And again, like I say, if guys, you don't agree with me on my analysis with saying now the only chance is advance. If you think it's UKIP, let me know in the comments. If you think it's reform, let me know in the comments. I don't think there's any other contenders out there on our side of politics. The Tory party's done, and even if they weren't done, I'd never vote for them anyway. I never voted for them in my life. I've never voted Labour either, by the way. But that's one of the blessings of being in Northern Ireland. We don't have to vote for these parties. But yeah, okay. Yeah, do you know what? I've watched that video, and I think it's highly likely that something horrendous is going to happen. And I think I've got to be careful what I say, but I think what we've got to do, Don't worry, Jenny, we'll not fall out over it. I'm pushing advance. I'm pushing advance, and I'm going to keep pushing advance, right? Yeah, it's DUP, UUP, or TUV. TUV, I'm guessing, will be affiliated with Advance, and my local MP is a friend of mine. He's an independent, but again, he would share the same policies that we all believe in. Do you know what I mean? Oh, well, listen, do you know what? I really appreciate that. Richard, last week I made a joke about you backlight. Okay. I was just joking. You speak last, saw you speak last week and it made me cry. I have much more. Oh, do you know what? Listen, Lexi, I've been doing this stuff since 2017. I made my first public speech outside Downing Street in 2017. Phil Campion was there, ex-SES guy, and a whole lot of veterans and a whole lot of football lads. And that's when I started on this journey. So it's been a long, long haul, and a lot has happened. Yeah, do you know what, Andrew? I don't blame you. That's hedge your bets. Listen, hedge your bets, fella. Don't worry about that. That's the reality is, um, why not? Why not join both? Sinn Féin in Dublin is Satan. Yeah, I mean, there is. How can I say it without getting the channel sanctioned in any way? There are sinister people in the south of Ireland that are threatening violence against patriots, and I'm talking about potentially lethal force against patriots. Obviously, these are illegal organizations that we hate and wouldn't support, but that's what's happening at the minute. And I can't say it because of the channel, because obviously I'm not going to say anything that's going to jeopardize the channel, but there is some very sinister stuff going on in the south of Ireland. Ah, man. We all make sure that 13th September is just the start of our reset. Absolutely. Absolutely. Paul, thanks very much, brother. Ditto. The feeling's mutual. I'm going to say, and I keep saying this, and it's a mutual appreciation society, but Paul Thorpe is one of the most genuine people I have met in this movement, bar none. Okay. When my back was against the wall, didn't turn his back on me. Plenty of people did. I'll tell you that here and now. Plenty of people that pretended to be friends for years turned their backs on me when I was going through a really difficult time, including the loss of my mother and all sorts of other family problems. But Paul didn't turn his back on me, and there was a small cadre of people that didn't turn their back on me, and Tommy being one of them as well. Tommy came out of prison, sent me it, and again, I'm not, a lot of people think I'm kind of Tommy's PA or something. Weeks would go by without me talking to Tommy, not because I don't like talking to him, love talking to him, but I know how busy he is, and I don't bug him unless I've got a reason to chat to him, right? But when Tommy came out of prison, he sent me a message. He says, "You've done nothing wrong. Don't let the haters get you down." So Paul, Danny, other people close to Tommy, I'm not going to name them, had my back, but they were few in number. I tell you that here and now, they were few in number. And you remember that. You remember who your friends are. Don't hold grudges against people that didn't have my back. It just goes, well, I'm not going to waste any time on them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be in touch with them. I'm not going to be talking to them. And yeah, you find out who your friends are when your back's against the wall. And again, there's a friend of mine yesterday, not yesterday, on Thursday last week, had his house petrol bombed here in Belfast. A great patriot, an absolutely magnificent patriot, very intelligent, and he'd been exposing the deep state and all sorts of collusion and stuff going on, and he was exposing it. And 3 o'clock in the morning, people came to his house and put a petrol bomb through his window. That's still going on, folks. That's still going on. And again, I'm not going to say any more about it because I don't want to get myself involved in that. But the reality is that's what's going on. Patriots are being targeted, and it's part of the price that we pay. It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. Sorry to hear, Richard. How are you bearing up with that dark time in the past and a brighter future? Bless those. But yeah, Jason, look, I mean, here's the thing, right? I think one of the things that I had to learn to do all over again was forgive and ask people for forgiveness, right? Simple as that. And that's what love, Paul. Never think you are on your own. You got us, sending hugs. No, Paul's great. Paul's great. And again, no, look, do you know what? That's what I'm saying. We're building a really nice group of people here who get what we're doing. They support what we're doing. I know you guys in the comments overwhelmingly support the analysis that I've made of the situation and support the direction that I'm trying to take. Anyone that follows me in my social media, the road that I want, that I'm going to go down, and if people come down that road with me, well, then we've got a gang going down the road instead of me just on my own. So yeah. Okay. No, it's not. My friends have blocks in the UK. Okay, this is the cuddly toy. I missed that video actually, to be honest with you. But yeah, absolutely right. Everything, time is a great healer. Time's a great healer. Spud guns here. Well, that's it. We need beans, bullets, and band-aids for what could potentially happen after 2029. Prayer behind you, Richard, doing a great job. But Daniel, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Crossbows. Well, I think they're a very good thing to have. The problem is the government's going to make them illegal soon, and anybody that's got one, the government's probably going to try and take them off them. So that's the problem. They want to make it so that you can't defend yourself. Absolutely unbelievable. And the thing is, guys, I genuinely believe there will be an October the 7th style attack in the UK at some point where these crazy people go into a town or a village and just create absolute havoc. I believe that's going to happen. And I think we should all be able to defend ourselves. I think we have a right, because the government ain't going to defend us. They haven't got enough soldiers. They haven't got enough police, and our police aren't even armed. I'm already NI harm in signing up to. Yeah, I'm already in. No harm signing up to Advance UK. Funds would help Ben, and no harm in being informed. And Ben's going to donate 100k of his own money, right? If the party gets to 30,000 members, Ben's going to put 100k in, which is superb. Oh, conquers at dawn. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the Lord's coming back, eh? The Lord's coming back, and that's the important thing. Ticking time bomb waiting. I think. Listen, I feel like a ticking time bomb all the time. Right, guys, I am going to go. So yeah, sign up to UK Freedom Movement. The link's in the description. I'll drop it in here one very last time, and then I am going to go. Sign up to UK Freedom Movement. I think all it asks for at the minute is just your email address. We're not asking for any other details. It's just literally an emailing list with email address on it, so I can keep in touch. And we will start emailing people on that emailing list. And if you don't want to be on the emailing list, just obviously drop off it. I don't want to spam people and send people stuff that they don't want. But okay, guys, I am going to go. Thanks for tuning into this very impromptu live stream. My wife said to me, "Who would be on the live stream at this time of night?" And I'm like, "You'd be surprised." There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are as crazy as me. We need to recruit. Yeah, I've been talking about that for ages. We need to have, and I think I've got ideas on that. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, 100%, 100%. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. See you all soon. Thanks for tuning in.